kind of like a failure a lot of the times because I am 28 and I dropped out of school in January, and a lot has changed in the last 4 months. Up until January, I wholeheartedly believed that certain things would be a part of my future. And in the last 4 months, I have realized that the career that I've been planning on pursuing, the relationship that I had invested a lot of emotion into, and the horse that I had just believed would be a part of my future, all of those things in the last 4 months, they've gone away. And in the last 7 weeks, I have, if you've been watching my stories, you know I haven't been able to really ride very much, more so than working out, but haven't been able to work out. Those two things have been the things that in the past have kept me going. Like, the world kind of sucks, but I got the gym or I have the barn. In times of crisis, I run to the barn. If you can't find me, check the barn because I'm probably there. But I've had those things kind of changed up too. So the last 4 months, I moved back home. I am, living not with my parents, but with my brother. And there have been, maybe it's just me, that I think that there's been a lot of criticism of this decision to quit. I bought a house last summer, and I decided that I was going to pursue being a pharmacist. So I was going to go for 4 more years to school to get my doctor of pharmacy. And I was already struggling a little bit about that because of my age and feeling like, I didn't have a career, and I'm at the time 27, and I was going to be 31 by the time I was done. But I believed, science. Science has been my thing, since I discovered it. And it was about 2012 when I decided to spend the extra time in school to get a 4-year degree in biology. After that, I did everything I could to pursue science. I did an internship at MIT in the summer of 2015, which was incredible, and it was one of the best summers if not the best summer I've ever had in my life. It was incredible, and it was everything that I hoped it would be and more. And so it seemed natural to pursue a pharmacy degree because it was science, it was analytical, it was helping people, it was everything I thought that I wanted. And then I gave it a try. I did 10-11 weeks the term last fall, and over Christmas break I had to make the decision to quit. And I decided to quit because I didn't feel like it was the right path for me, and I needed to listen to my heart, my intuition, to God. And at the end of the day, I did, and I made that knowing that this year I would be pursuing a world title for the first time. I've been to the APHA World Show in 2008 on a horse that I was leasing at the time, and it was my last year of youth. At the time that I went to the APHA World Show, I believed that that was my last time showing, because in 2008 I graduated from high school, and I went and spent a year down in California doing my freshman year at Concordia University in Irvine, and it was fantastic. I loved it. But every time that I would come home, or my mom would go to a horse show and send me messages that she was there, I missed it so much. And before, when I went to the World Show and transitioned down to California, I was sure I could live without it. I was sure that it was fine to, part with it. It wasn't for me anymore. I had done 18 years pretty much with it, and I loved California, but I always missed horses. And so after the year spent there. It was really expensive tuition and everything, I wanted to be home, to be close to my grandma, and I wanted to ride horses. So I came home and I decided to go to school here. Originally, I actually tried to go to school at University of Oregon in Eugene, which is about 2.5 hours away. I spent 2 weeks there and decided it wasn't for me either. I don't know if that's because I was comparing everything to Concordia or I just hated the rain that much, but I left. I moved back home and decided to go to school here in Bend at the community college while I figured out what it was that I wanted to do with my life, because I had a lot of interests, right? I loved science later in life. So at this point, this is 2009, science was the furthest thing from my mind. I always thought I kind of sucked at it, to tell you the truth. So, business, that's what my family told me. Get a business degree, it's safe. My dad, he owned a business, he ran a business, he was a successful businessman. My family is entrepreneurial, but that wasn't for me. I said, I don't want to own a business. I don't want to do business. It's boring. It's not for me. So I discovered sociology when I was taking classes there, and I really liked it. So I believed I was going to do a social science degree when I moved home. So I took psychology, sociology, anthropology, criminal justice, and I was just hoping to take classes and figure out what it was that was going to align with everything. And, I loved the idea of studying the mind, and I loved the psychology that talked about like the science in the psychology. And if I look back on that, I loved the science part of the psychology class, but I remember thinking, that sounds super interesting, but I would never be able to do that because it's science and it's so much longer in school and all of those things. But after I tried all these classes, I decided, you know what? Business degree. This is 2012 now, and I decided I was gonna get a business degree, and I didn't care because, hey, I'm gonna get a degree and be done so I can get on with my life, and I can figure out what I love after that. I had to take a science class for a prereq. I happened to get into a Bio 101 class with this teacher. It changed my life. I mean, if I had never taken that class with that teacher, there's so many things that would never have happened because of it. I would have never been in Boston. I would have never went to pharmacy school. I probably would have not dated the guys that I dated after that too, because they liked that I was scientifically minded. I would have been a lot different. And I am so thankful that I experienced that passion for learning. I was obsessed with it. I literally spend 13 hours a day sitting in like science building, just studying and absorbing everything. It was almost obsessive actually, but I loved it. So I decided I would spend the extra time and the extra money and I would get a biology degree because biology was the only major offered in Bend, and I decided I wanted to stay in Bend. So I did. I switched. And I never looked back. Until now. Until I left pharmacy school. I loved science, but I don't know. I lost faith in it. I lost the love that I had for it. I wanted to help people, but I wanted to help them before they needed a lot of medicine. I just felt like being a pharmacist was more about memorizing pills than it was helping people before they needed all these pills. And since I've been sick the last like 6-7 weeks, I've honestly been really disappointed in the healthcare system. Not to say, like, I know that so many people in the healthcare system, they're overworked and they do the best they can, and they're not necessarily equipped to treat and like be able to run all these tests to figure out what's wrong with me. I get that. The podiatrist I saw though last week, he was really great, and I have a follow-up next week. Hopefully I won't need my other toenail, but I'm thinking I probably will. But take it as it comes. And anyways, my rant. I decided I wanted to help people live their best life and be their, best self without medicine. And I know that there are a lot of pharmacists that do such great work, and I'm not bashing on them. I'm not bashing on the medical field as a whole. Like, we need them. It's great. But it wasn't for me. It wasn't what lit my soul on fire. So I quit. I have this debt to pay off, and I had to rent my house, and it was crazy. It was a lot. And I gave it up for, a variety of reasons, and I hope every day that they were the right reasons. And I wonder if I had chosen one school over the other, if I would have liked it more, if I would have stayed, if I would have been happier. Because I doubted myself, I maybe made the decision to go to one school over the other for more personal reasons. And I guess what I've really learned the last 4 months is to listen to yourself and listen to your body and that inner voice. What I haven't shared yet, I've kind of been all over the place, and if you're still watching, thanks for watching, because this has been a super long video and kind of disorganized. But I also, at the time that I was in switching to biology, I was into that organic, organic. I was actually really healthy though, and so there might be something to it. And I was, I guess, for lack of better words, a really strong Christian. And when I think if I look back, when I started going more towards science, I maybe started to not lose faith, but I started to have more doubt. I've always had a hard time connecting with people. It's not something I'm very good at. A lot of people find me difficult